midfield controversy, rumors, and disagreements are all seeping throughout the Reggae Boyz fan base, but we must unite to murder those scrub Americans.
Jamaica have a lifeline. How about this?
Big up Gunnaz. I hear that. Don't know something that Gunnaz may say, but big up Gunnaz.
If you're new here, help me get to my goal of 3,500 subscribers before the end of the month. I really appreciate the support that you guys have been giving us and helping us to grow and get to our monthly goals every single day, every single week, every single month. It all helps. So if you're new here, you love the content, you support what we do, and you love what we do, just go ahead and hit that fat red subscribe button. Well, it's not red. A whole lot of you guys have been telling me that the subscribe button is red. It's just a habit. One time on YouTube, it used to be red, but obviously right now it's not red anymore. But yeah, just go ahead and smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever we do post videos. And also remember, every single Gunnaz video should get to 100 likes. So again, if you love the content, you respect what we do, just help out the content and help out the channel by hitting the like button so that the video can get to more people just like you. So yeah, man, like the video, get the video to 100 likes. So in this video, I'll be going through some contributing factors relating to our midfield that is causing Reggae Boyz fans to be in some sort of dispute. There are a whole lot of mixed opinions and split opinions as well. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down and just going through those different opinions, specifically about the midfield selection over this period. Now, I'll be speaking specifically about Isaac Hayden, Ravel Morrison, and John Russell, and how those key selections or non-selections might have a ripple effect or an effect on the team itself, and the thoughts that are seeping through and going around in the fan base about these three selections or non-selections. Now, the first one that I want to really tackle is the fact that Isaac Hayden is using Jamaica. He's not committed. He's just using Jamaica to get a club. And yeah, he's just the overall feeling from some Reggae Boyz fans is that he's just using Jamaica. He's not committed. He doesn't really want to be here, right? And Steve McClaren is also being called a hypocrite for his selection as well. If you want to look at it from the scope of him saying that some players need minutes in order to get selected into the national team. And so far this season, Isaac Hayden has had no senior minutes, but yet still he is called up to the national team, right? So I think I can combat that in a way. You guys all know my thoughts on Isaac Hayden already. I didn't want him here, but the fact that he is here, that changes my narrative, and I have to change my view on him, right? Because it's not going to change. What I want, it's not going to change. He's already here. He's going to play. He's going to start football matches. See? So if we, given all of the past feelings that I've had for Isaac Hayden, just putting that to the side, if this was a regular player in that number 6 role coming in, I would not have any issue with it because he's proven quality. A whole lot of people say that he was one of West Brom's best players, not West Brom, QPR's best players last season in the championship, right? And like you don't just fall off. Like in the space of months, you don't just fall off. And as we've seen in those recent pictures in the Reggae Boyz camp, he looks fit, right? Now, I can't speak to whether he's hungry or the reasons why he's here, but he looks fit. And a fit Isaac Hayden, based off what we've seen for him or from him last season at QPR, which was just a few months ago, really does tremendously help this national team setup. We do not have a 6. So in that regard, forgetting everything or the reasons why I do not want him, Jamaica needs him, right? We need that type of player, I should say. And with him slotting in, he's going to help the team in a whole lot, right? So I can understand McClaren's selection, even though he has not had any senior minutes. Now, Steve McClaren's response to Hayden's commitment and also him, quote unquote, using Jamaica was pretty straightforward. If you want to look at it at the point of view that he's using Jamaica to find a club, then if he's using Jamaica to find a club, then he has to perform to find that club. So any way you look at it or any way you want to look at it, he still has to perform. And Steve McClaren even went as far to say that if he does not perform, then he will not be selected again. Do I believe that? No, I don't. if he has a stinker against the United States, I think he will be selected in the next period. I don't think, no matter how bad of a game he has, Steve McClaren is just going to throw him away, because we really just don't have anybody else. Just like how I also do not think he's going to have a stinker. I think he'll have a pretty decent game and he'll hold down that position because he's experienced, he's played at the highest level, and that is what we should really expect if we're going to have a player of his caliber into the national team setup.
Commitment, is this just a thing where to help him get a club back, or he's really on board now to play for Jamaica? Thank you.
Yeah, he desperate to play for Jamaica. Desperate he was to get his passport from our first conversation, and he realizes that, yeah, look, he's in the reserves at Newcastle. You know, he needs a club in January. This is as much about the March window and the summer window and the next World Cup window as it is this window, whether, you know, he contributes, he plays, or he doesn't. It's as much getting him integrated into the Jamaican way of working that we work. He's really enthusiastic about that. And you're right. Every player needs a cause. Every player needs motivation. And his motivation is to get back playing at the level in which he was playing 3 or 4 years ago when he first went to Newcastle. That's his only thing. And to be able to commit to Jamaica and hopefully in January be able to commit to another club will only make him better. And we're helping him with that. And he's got to come here and he's got to help us achieve our goals as well. If he doesn't, then he won't come again.
Now, that is what Steve McClaren had to say about the Isaac Hayden situation. Now, heading over into Ravel Morrison and his return, Steve McClaren did make mention of the fact that he's going to start watching and keeping track of Ravel Morrison going forward, right? But also said it was a bit too soon to integrate him because he hasn't played any football for 18 months. And since he's been back, he's only been playing 4 games. Yes, he scored 2 goals, but he wants to really give him more time to bed in and find back his feet in football. It's not as if he's playing at a very, very high level at the end of the day. So he wants to just give him more time. And he said by the time that March window comes around, the way how he was speaking is that we can almost certainly expect Ravel Morrison to be selected if he continues on this trajectory that he's going on, which is good news for all of you guys who are Ravel Morrison fans and wanted to see Ravel Morrison in the national team setup. Right now is a bit too early, which is understandable. 4 games after 18 months, it's not a lot. One might argue that a lot of other players out there might deserve a call up over him, whatever, right? I just want to know that he is in the sight and the line of view of the coach. And based off what I heard in that press conference, it seems that that is the case. So I will be patient and I will give him until next window in March to select Ravel Morrison. And going forward, I want to see Ravel Morrison in the setup because we really need a creative player.
The other who has attracted publicity is Ravel Morrison. And I know he's finally back playing. He's had 4 games, his first 4 games for 18 months. So he's had no rhythm, no momentum, not training. But now he's training. He's playing in Dubai. He's had 4 games, scoring, assisting. And Ravel is someone I know well, work with him. My type of player. I love that type of player. And I think it's one that I never thought the first 3 camps that he would be involved, but we'll certainly, after this camp, be picking him up over the next couple of months and seeing how he's playing in Dubai, keeping an eye on him. So the door is never closed on anybody, and definitely not Ravel.
No, the last player that I'm going to be talking about is John Russell and Steve McClaren's hypocrisy in not selecting Ravel Morrison.
No, I had my eyes on him, watching him, tracking him play. Jonathan Russell, you know, how far was he from getting into this team, and what are your overall thoughts on him? I know you've got to see him in 1 camp so far. Can you just speak a little bit about that player?
Yeah, it's funny you should say that, and I'm going to speak to John. because he was involved in the first camp. I spoke to him before the last camp, and I said I keep an eye on him, and he wasn't playing at the time. I have a very good friend in the UK who's a Barnsley supporter, and he phoned me up, and I met him, and enthusiastically talking about John Russell. Say since he's come back into the team, he's been a revelation for Barnsley. So he's certainly one that we've got in our radar, and certainly one that we're thinking about, and he's on our list, and he's someone who we can consider in the future. So that's another I need to pick up after this camp and really look at closely.
Now, for both of you guys who do not know John Russell, he is a Barnsley midfielder, right? He started representing Jamaica back in our last qualifiers campaign. I think he made his debut against Mexico in the Azteca. And he came on and he had a brilliant game that match. He was so controlling. And from that, I was sold on his talent. And I've been tracking him ever since then, right? He's gotten call-ups. He's played in a few Gold Cup matches. He's actually scored for Jamaica already. He's had good performances when he's put on a Jamaica shirt. However, coaches tend to not trust him a whole lot in the bigger games and against tougher opponents. We've seen it with Hallgrimsson, and I wouldn't really say we've seen it with McClaren. However, he did have one win with McClaren, and then the following week that he was not called up. Reason given by Steve McClaren himself was because he was not playing any minutes. Now, since then, since that last window, John Russell has played 4 games, right? He has played 4 games, and he has had stellar performances, scoring 2 goals and adding 1 assist, right? And the entire fan base of Barnsley and everyone in League One has been shocked at his rise, right? He really took it personally. And he set out on a mission, and he is Jamaica's most on-form midfielder, right? Now, for Steve McClaren to look at him in the last window and say that the reason I'm taking you out is because you don't have any minutes, and the moment you start having minutes, then we will reassess and we can add you back. And to think that Steve McClaren was not even tracking this player, because he said that he was a Barnsley friend, right? A friend of his who's a Barnsley fan who told him about John Russell's farm. Why should a friend from Barnsley be excited and telling you about his farm? You should be tracking this player. You told the player that you'll be tracking him, and if he gets minutes, he'll get back a call-up. But this guy has not only had minutes, he has had stellar performances. He's stat-padded, right? And he deserves a place in this national team. And a whole lot of Reggae Boyz fans were expecting to see him, because we have this notion that is going around that Reggae Boyz or the Jamaica does not have a midfield, when they have so many midfielders out there that are being overlooked, right? How can you not call an unformed John Russell, who is already familiar with the team in this window? Well, questions have to be asked. Kara Anderson, what has he done in that position, both under Hallgrimsson and Steve McClaren, to warrant a selection over John Russell? He has not had stellar performances. And this is not me bashing Kara Anderson, but he really has not had stellar performances. So why can't someone else get a go, especially Jamaica's most unformed midfielder? Right? Now, a whole lot of fans have been so angry with him not being selected. Some of them are saying, I'm saying take out Kara Anderson because I'm not going to go for a defender. I want to be able to back up my point and say he's a midfielder. So I'm going to take out a midfielder to bring in him as a midfielder. So some people are saying that they wanted to take out Tavon Gray, who's a right back from, I think he plays in the USL or MLS, one of them, right? Some people are saying that they wanted to take out Tavon Gray and add John Russell into the national team setup because they already have Dexter Lembikisa and Joel Latibodiere, who are natural right backs. Plus, Isaac Hayden himself is a central defensive midfielder, which is the position that Latibodiere had taken up, right? So if that is the case, then that would leave a vacancy for the backup position at right back. See, so we would have cover over 2 games, both in the defensive midfield position and at right back. So that would make sense. But at the end of the day, I don't care how this team would need to chop and change. John Russell not being selected into this national team setup is absolutely criminal. He was robbed. And one needs to ask the question, what is Steve McClaren doing when Jamaica is not playing football? How can you not be tracking a player that was in your first camp? He's actually playing in England. He's playing in League One. But yet you keep calling Kari Anderson, who is nowhere near or has reached nowhere near the levels that John Russell has reached this season. That is just unacceptable. And it's not a case as if Kari Anderson has credit in the bank with his national team. He hasn't been performing well. Under Al Grimson in the last few games that he had, and under Steve McClaren against Nicaragua when he got his chance, he has not been playing well. And you have this unformed midfielder, robust, physical, aerial prowess, a threat in both boxes, defending and attacking, right? Strong in the challenge, physical. Zine, and you don't want to give this man a chance in the national team setup? Two things can be the reason why. Either you're not tracking him or you don't rate him. And I refuse to believe that Steve McClaren does not rate John Russell. Because if he does, if he sees everything that we are seeing from John Russell and does not rate him, then his talent ID is absolute crap. So I refuse to believe that he does not rate John Russell. But what I will believe is that he's not tracking the players. See? And Jamaica pay the man good money. And he's not supposed to just sit down on him ass now the shit. You talk about white scout. What about actually going to matches? You're there in England most of the time. Go to the matches. Watch the football games. See? And everything I can get off a white scout. You have to have an interest in seeking and seeing what these players are doing. See? So, yeah, bro, that is what I have to say. Steve McClaren, he can be seen as a bit hypocritical with some of these selections. However, as I say, you all know that this is Jamaica. We despise the United States of America and any sport that we are playing. So we shall not, we must not lose that football match at the National Stadium. So yeah, everyone just please go out and support me. I got it as usual. I know it's every home match I'm going to be there. So yeah, that was it for this episode, guys. Jonathan Russell was robbed. Ravel Morrison is expected to be here by March. And Isaac Hayden is causing a rift in the fan base with a whole lot of different perceptions and opinions on his selection into the national team setup. Leave your thoughts down below in the comment section. I want to hear from a whole lot of you guys. What are your thoughts on these three players and how their selections or non-selections have affected or will affect the team going forward? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Remember to like the video. Every Gunnaz video should get to 100 likes. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time. Peace.
Jamaica have a lifeline. How about this?
Big up Gunnaz, I hear like, don't know some of the Gunnaz myself, but big up Gunnaz.